Live Q&A now time here on the Cowboys Report. I am your host, Tom Downey, angry and upset, physically hot here about the Cowboys' loss. We're going to have a little vent session, little breakdown about the Cowboys. So use hashtag Cowboys. Anything is on the table. Reminder, type FG if you want Jason Garrett fired. I'll remind everybody that this looks different. I know. I am not in Dallas. I'm with my family, and I still came on the show for you guys because we had to talk about it because we're all pissed off. So type FG. We know what the F stands for. It's not just fire. Hint, hint. It's very clear it's time for Jason Garrett to go. All right, first up today on the Q&A side of things here. Again, reminder to use that hashtag Cowboys. From Lucas, sign Romo as coach. Damn it, Dylan. All right, so a couple of things. Let's start with Tony's side of it. I assume you mean head coach. If he wants to come as quarterback's coach, sure. But why would Tony Romo leave? I mean, look how hard we are on Jason Garrett. I mean, I have been just brutal to the guy. I think justifiably so. But I've been brutal. Now, why would Romo leave the best job in sports? He gets to talk about football, gets paid a bunch of money, gets paid high-end NFL head coach money, talk about the games. Everyone loves him, and he gets to play all the golf he wants, spend all the time with his family. He comes in and as a coach, man, his hours change drastically. The golf is no longer a thing, spends way less time with his family. I don't see why Romo would want the job. And in terms of hiring a head coach who's never coached before, I think that's a terrible idea. As much as I love Romo, I got my Romo jersey at my house, I don't think that's a good hire for the Cowboys. All right, next up here from Frank Tuttle, get Jeff. Dylan, I'm going to murder you. When I get back to Dallas, you're going to die. Why would you want Jeff Fisher? What's the fucking point of that? That's even worse than Jason Garrett. Next question. Next question. I'm not doing that one. All right, Austin. Dylan's laughing in my ear because he thinks he's funny. Happy Thanksgiving. Should we fire Jason Garrett now or after the season? And how do you think our playoff hopes are? I fire him now. I think Jerry wants to wait. We'll see how he feels after the game when he wakes up the next day and the day after that. The playoff hopes aren't over, so as long as that's the case, I don't think Jason Garrett gets fired. But we'll see. I don't feel confident anymore. I thought this was going to be a 10-6 team with a tough schedule. I mean, 9-7. Michael Leftwich, Brian's brother. Fire Garrett now. Hire Urban Meyer as a consultant. Let Richard be the interim. I can live with Richard as the interim. Not sure what Urban would do as the consultant, but it's an interesting idea, so I don't hate it all that much. If you do fire Garrett, you have to have an interim. I think Richard, Kellen Moore, Kitna, maybe even Rod Marinelli, or Doug Nussmeier. Maybe those are the interim guys, but I'd go with Richard just to see what he's got. Give him a trial run. If he turns around and wins the next Super Bowl, sure, he can stay. Urban Meyer, meanwhile, I don't know how devoted he is truly to coming back to coaching. I think he likes being on Fox and being one of the media guys. It's certainly less stress, and he has the health issues. Now, we can throw those issues in quotation marks if we want, but I do think it's worth monitoring overall. You could do a lot worse than Urban Meyer. I don't mean to sound anti-Urban Meyer. I'm fine with it. I just have different guys higher up on my list. All right, from Silver Time, here's a $2 super chat. It says 8-8, 8-8, 8-8. He hasn't gone 8-8 in a while. I actually think Jason Garrett's more of a 9-7 coach, but in the end, there's no difference. I think he's going to finish with one of those marks. If the Cowboys do go 8-8, it'd be pretty funny if that is how his career ends as the Cowboys head coach. Started 8-8, ends 8-8. Now, everyone watching here live on YouTube, live on Facebook, let me know in the comments, who do you guys want as the next Cowboys head coach? Put your comments in. Maybe we'll do another super in-depth mailbag later on in the week on that topic, because it's clear we don't want Garrett anymore. So who do you guys want? Let me know in the comments. We are all in a very sensitive time right now, so I will try to be nice about all of those replies. Now, I did bet on the Cowboys. I feel pretty bad about it, but I got a lot of money because I'm a good bettor, and BetDecide gave me money for free, too. It's chatsports.com/bet. You deposit $50. They're going to give you an extra $60. It's It's the best betting deal out there. Chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code Cowboys120 for a 120% deposit bonus. They'll give you that extra money only with that promo code, only for you Cowboys fans out there. All right, from Kingpin Little John, he says Dabo Swinney. I don't know if he leaves Clemson, but I think he's done a fantastic job there. He does kind of fit, I think, more of the CEO mold, and I don't have a big problem with that, even though we don't like the clapping we see from Garrett. He's done a fantastic job at Clemson. He's one of the top 5 head coaches in college football, at least. I would be on board with that. I honestly don't know if he leaves. That's my biggest question. All right, next up from Kush Gupta. How about Hue? Okay, see, now I know you're trolling. I know you're trolling. Good try, Kush. Good try, Kush. Good try. I appreciate that. That's funny. I'd rather not. All right, next up here from Troy Daniels. We start to use the great plays in the beginning, but they always get away and go conservative. Once the firing comes down, will the new coach come in with a better game plan? I hope so. I actually don't know if the great plays always come at the beginning. That was the case this week, and then what happened to Tony Pollard? He was gone all of a sudden, so it was all very strange and confusing to me. But Troy, hopefully when the changes come, especially on defense, the game plan ends up being a lot better. All right, next up here from Anthony Johnson, Lincoln Riley, Urban Meyer, the OC from the Ravens. There's others, but waiting to see it till the end of the season. That's fair. Riley would be a good one. I would love him. I don't mind Urban Meyer. And the OC from the Ravens, you're referring to Greg Roman. I like those 3 names. If you get me one of those guys, I'd feel pretty happy about it. I like Roman. He's done a fantastic job this year with Lamar Jackson. And I think with Dak Prescott, a different type of player than Lamar, and frankly, hasn't had the same caliber of year, I think Roman would have success there. I think Lincoln Riley would have success there. And we know that a Dak Prescott style of quarterback would fit well with Urban Meyer because a Urban Meyer disciple used Dak at Mississippi State and Dan Mullen, a name I haven't heard mentioned much, but I would also be on board with that name too. Nathan Hall, how well do you think a lifetime college coach could do moving to the NFL? Styles can be completely different. I think more and more, you're not seeing the same style. Like, there's same style differences. I think they're getting a little bit closer. I mean, look at what Cliff Kingsbury's done this year. More and more teams are adopting the spread offense. We are not that far removed from people saying the spread offense can't work in the NFL. And now it's everywhere. Every team uses some variation of a spread offense. So I think it could work. I would like someone with some experience. I think the biggest thing, and I'll hammer this point home a lot going forward, who they hire as their coordinators and as their support staff and their other assistant coaches is going to make a big deal. From Miss Stegosaurus, another super chat. How about Mark Stoops from Kentucky? He has been a solid head coach. I don't love that move. I like Mark Stoops, the coach. I don't think you should go from Kentucky to the Dallas Cowboys. He's not bad by any means, but the Cowboys can do better. I would much rather hire a Lincoln Riley. Go swing for the fences than to hire Mark Stoops. I figure in the comments Bob Stoops might be a more popular name, but I don't think Stoops is the guy there. All right, Destroyer Dog. Who should we expect from the Cowboys' next games? I'm not exactly sure what you mean. I'll answer it generally then. They got to be better. I mean, they came out hot in this opening drive against the Bills. They scored. They never do that this year. And then they just collapse in upon themselves. Mistakes everywhere. I know they're frustrated, but frustration afterward doesn't really help you. You have to be fired up and play fired up and not, down the stretch. It's just not good enough there. All right, folks, if you got to get your mind off the Cowboys here and their struggles, how about you get yourself a Cowboys jersey? Chatsports.com/Cowboys jersey. Use that URL to 25% off. This is their Black Friday deal, so it should be up for a little bit. 25% off Cowboys jerseys. It's chatsports.com/Cowboys jersey. Dak, Zeke, Amari, all of them are up there on the site. Tons of even custom jerseys are available and on sale. That's their Black Friday deal. 25% off at chatsports.com/Cowboys jersey. A few more Q&A here on the show before we sign off. Next up on the show, reminder, use that hashtag Cowboys. From Say Lux, Matt Rhule as head coach. Now that one I'm very intrigued by. The NFL has liked Matt Rhule for several years now. Again, he's a little bit more of what I call the CEO type, meaning he's not going to really call your plays for you. But he clearly has inspired Baylor. That is a team that has way less talent than Texas. And Baylor, and of course plenty of other teams, have kicked butt. I'm very impressed by the job Matt Rhule has done. Someone mentioned Mark Stoops earlier. I would much rather prefer this one. He comes in, his teams win. Has coached offense and defense. I think he's smart. I think he's knowledgeable. I think he would maximize your players. I think he would hire good assistant coaches too. Interview for the Giants and Jets. We'll probably get an interview with the Giants, fire their head coach again this year. But if I'm Dallas, I would be looking a little bit south in Waco and saying, hey, can we bring in Matt Rhule to be our head coach? From Kush Gupta again, should we give up on the Cowboys this season? Oh, this is a tough question. I am not. I'm going to keep doing the show. We're going to keep doing videos for you guys. We're going to hope that they win because they're not in the playoff race yet. So until they're out, I don't think that you should give up. Once you're eliminated, tank the rest of your games. Go for the draft pick. Give up on the year. But with this said, I understand if you're frustrated and you just don't want to deal with it anymore. Because the Cowboys have not been good the past couple of weeks. They have well below expectations come in. They have disappointed, plain and simple. So I'm not giving up yet, but I understand if you guys are at that point. I get it. It's frustrating and it's annoying. All right, from Gold Fox, again with a super chat. Love to get Jim Harbaugh type of coach. I'd love. I like Harbaugh. I don't think he's going to leave Michigan. I think what you're looking for there, and I'm going to take it as this way, you want one of the best, right? Like Harbaugh's one of the best. I agree. Garrett's not bad, but I don't think that's the route to go. I think you have to find somebody else in the end, but that's just my mindset. Again, keep using hashtag Cowboys here live on the show. Next up from Stevie Mac 23, if Washington lets go of Bill Callahan, should we bring him back to run the O-line again? I kind of like the job Mark Colombo's done. With that said, even if you want to consider Mark Colombo a top 10 offensive line coach, I don't know if he is. Bill Callahan's like the number one guy. So, look, there were some issues with Callahan and Garrett, but if Garrett's gone and Callahan wants to come be the O-line coach, I'm on board with that. Potential issue, by the way, Bengals have some ties to Bill Callahan. They might need an offensive line coach, but I would bring in Bill Callahan. Reminder, folks, type FG if the Cowboys should fire Jason Garrett. So type that FG in the comments section. He's got to go. Look, I don't. On one hand, I feel bad about saying people should be fired, but also he's made money. He doesn't need the money. He'll be fine. So I say FG. He's got to go right now, tomorrow, the day after that, whatever. Time for Jason Garrett to be fired. If you have not already, please subscribe to the Cowboys Report. The link there is below. Keep those FGs flowing in. But if you want Garrett fired, then subscribe, because that's what we want here on the Cowboys Report. We are in agreement. The voters, the commenters, look at all those FGs flowing in there. Like, it's clear what we want. So if you want to be a part of the same like-minded thinkers, subscribe. YouTube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report, the #1 Cowboys channel on the internet. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.